Hey everybody, this is Scotty with Sketchy's Garage. Today we're going to talk about the question I had last night, the last one. Did the fastest in America help save the 405 show? And kind of what I mean by that, we're going to have to rewind this really, really far back. Uh, I'll start by going in and telling you kind of how Street Outlaws works. I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there. Uh, getting talking to people and chat and stuff, I kind of get the feeling you think you go there and you get to make a bunch of passes and then you get to go and race. That's not how it works at all. Say if my buddy F3 Big Block Chevy gets a call, hey, we need you here for the Memphis show. You get to show up. You'll get there at the time that they tell you. They'll take and look your car over, check and make sure it's safe. They check several things. The main thing they check is a tranny blow off or a tranny catch can, neutral safety switch. Make sure your belts are in date. And then from there, you don't get to go down to the street and make test pass or nothing. You get one shot. You go down to the starting line. You guys set up your races and you race. You don't get any test pass at all. So you better be really good off the trailer and you better be really dialed in. They'll take it even one step further. We thought we was pretty smart and had it figured out. Knew where they was going to race. So we get there a couple days early. We go test. And we notice when we're testing, there's this small group of people that's kind of following us. So long story short, when we go there to race, they say, hey, we're not running where we normally run. We're going to run over here. So they put us on a whole nother track, or not really track, but a street. So that's the way it works. And it's the same for all the shows. It's the same for the 405, the NOLA, the MSO. It's all the same. You don't get to go there and test, get your car figured out, and race. You get to show up and race, and that's pretty much what it. So I just kind of tell you that so you guys kind of understand how it goes. Because you hear a lot of people kind of complain about the NOLA thing, and it doesn't really bother me because I kind of understand that all the other races are kind of like that. When you show up, you don't get no test time or nothing. You just get to race, and that's it. Another thing about the Street Outlaws, most of the stuff that you watch has been in the can for probably 18 months to a year. Here recently, it's a little bit closer just because they don't have as much stuff because of what's going on. You know, they kind of burned through their footage. Like all the JJ arm drop stuff, all that stuff is, some of it's as old as 3 years old. All right, guys, I'm gonna answer the two most questions that I see on the fastest in America thing all the time, and that is why wasn't the 405 there, and why MSO got a final trip or a free pass to the finals. Okay, guys, when this everything first kind of came out, they kind of sent us contracts like a few months before the uh the first or the filming of Fastest in America. And when they did that, it wasn't called Fastest in America. It was called the 8 City Showdown. And the way they kind of explained it to us was that they was going to have eight teams race each other, and then the final two teams from the ladder would race each other, and they would win a prize equivalent to $100,000. It wasn't worded like a cash prize. It was just like equivalency prize or something like that. It was worded kind of funny, but it's your shot at Street Outlaws. You just give it a shot, you know. You just go with it. And we get there, and all the scuttlebutt before, we kind of knew the teams that was going to go there, and there was no really talk of NOLA being there. And then we get down there, and they say, well, Kai Kelly and John Doe and all them guys are here. And heck, we was stoked. We was like, heck yeah, we get to try to race against some of the best Street Outlaws in the world, see where we stand. But in the long run, I think what ended up happening with NOLA beating Texas, they already knew that NOLA couldn't support a show on its own. They've already been there and done that and tried it. And they seen, well, what can we do to save face, basically. With Nola ending up winning the 8 city showdown, which they couldn't cast the spinoff from it. So I think they came up with the ideal, hey, we'll let them run against MSO and make an episode out of it and put a spin on it. Because the whole time we was down there, I never heard any mention of it called Fastest in America. It was probably 2 months after it was shot that I even recall hearing it called Fastest in America. But in the long run, it ended up being a brilliant strategy because everybody always talks about it. Everybody's always, it can't be this without this, or it can't be that with that. So it's always on people's minds. People are always talking about it. It creates a lot of controversy. Controversy makes ratings. So I think it was kind of like a happy little accident. So we come back to the question that I asked you guys last night. Did Fastest in America save the 405 show? I believe so, because if they would have had another Street Outlaws spinoff already up and going, there wouldn't have been no need to have the 405 show. I believe all them guys had pretty much already moved on from the ideal. I think most of them was happy doing the No Prep King stuff. Probably felt that the OKC show was a little tired. And I know I'm going to get a bunch of hate and heat. Oh, there's no way. But you got to remember at this time that they hadn't filmed the OKC stuff for about 18 months. So there was no shows in the works for Oklahoma. But then the pandemic comes along, and most of them guys are probably still under contract, and they wanted content and needed content, and the easy thing to do was to, hey, we'll run another season of the 405. On the flip side of that, say nothing happened, the pandemic never happened, No Prep Kings would have been here, and they probably would have did away with the 405 show. That's just my opinion. I could be completely crazy, completely wrong, but there's a lot of indicators out there that the 405 guys was pretty much well done with it.